What's up, Rockstars? Today I have so many campaigns to show you. It's going to be an exciting one. I haven't seen this many up doing this well at the same time like ever. There's a ton, including over $1 million funding, some massive ones coming, some big announcements of some to come. So let's get to it. All right, so for today's video, it's all tabletop RPGs, TTRPGs. Starting things out with Assassin's Creed, the role-playing game. This was announced by Command's in-house company, which is the Guillotine Press. So it's the RPG version of it, and it's actually the guy who's in charge of both. So he's in charge of IP and RPG. So obviously an Assassin's Creed role-playing game kind of goes along with that. Now, this is going to be a pre-order, right? So it's going to be one of their typical pre-orders. They usually use backer kit for those. Stuff like Metal Gear Solid, the board games on there, stuff like that. So that's what they're going to be doing here. A lot of the Zombicide releases are like that as well. Come over here, we do have a bit more information. So it says here, players in the Assassin's Creed role-playing game will create and play as descendants, modern-day characters whose ancestors were famous Brotherhood assassins of old. Players will also create and play as several of those same ancestors, one for each time period they'll visit in their missions by entering the enemy network. Guiding their adventures as the Animus operator, it's their duty to set the scene and guide the players through the game. Now, there's no word yet on the creation of the characters. Some games, you create a character very quick. Some you kind of craft and it takes a while. If you're crafting multiple characters, like the guy and his descendants, or the lady and her descendants, or whatever it is, like that could take some time. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Maybe they're just kind of like parts of you, like you've gained parts from them almost, right? It'd be kind of interesting. Fans of the video game can expect a deep dive into a wealth of lore and history pulled directly from the series' core line, as well as the over 24 spin-off games. It's been that many, my goodness. Assassin's Creed and role-playing fans can expect a deluxe set of books, along with numerous game supplements and enhancements like character miniatures, detailed maps, and game aids. Those miniatures, that's going to be what drives the cost up a lot when it comes to this, but people are going to love it. That being said, I wonder how having a already well-established multiple Kickstarter Assassin's Creed Kickstarter miniature board game is going to affect this. How different are these going to be? Be interesting to see the sales on that, because I imagine a lot of Assassin's Creed fans might already have some of that. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how that works out. The Assassin's Creed role-playing game is slated to be available for pre-order in 2023. So very soon here. Typically they make announcements like this about 3 months ahead of time, 2 to 5-ish, really, I think has been the range I've seen. And then every now and then they announce something way early, though typically it doesn't have this much information, quotes from people and stuff like that. And they already said 2023. So in the next few months, right by the end of 2023, this is going to be available. That being said, I don't know how long the pre-order is going to be. The Metal Gear Solid pre-order, for instance, has been around for a long time. The Zombicide ones have also been around for a long time. So be interested to see when this actually delivers, not just is available for sale. All right, following that, we have Cloudbreaker Alliance, or I think it's called CBA down below, Counter-Apocalyptic TRPG. This is actually really, really cool. They have a CBA, yeah. Uses an original 2d6 system, so all you need is 2d6s and you're good to go. It's kind of a weird mix. They say think Star Trek meets Final Fantasy, and the release will be accompanied by an animated tutorial series with professional voice acting, thanks to a stretch goal. And there's a conversion chart for all your 5e monsters that will be provided. Now, obviously, that's the dedicated 5e and not necessarily, it support everything under the sun. We're going to be covering a lot of 5e supplemental stuff, right? GMs can just link new players to those videos and they can start playing within 15 minutes. So that's kind of cool. It's a very nice prep. Sometimes the player prep time can be really big, so that's super awesome. Problem solving is prioritized over damage dealing, but you can still create powerful combat builds. By the way, I love this bullet point summary right at the beginning here. No need to sacrifice roleplay for combat effectiveness. 256 levels worth of growth and 32 classes. That equals about 8 each, though I'm sure it kind of varies. Each class provides only a small set of features. Complexity comes from class combinations, so you're going to be combining classes a lot. And there are robust escape and chase sequence rules as well. Now, they do have something cool like character quirks, for instance. Use your character quirks as abilities. A klutzy character can choose to discover clues in exchange for fall damage by falling on top of them. That's a nice way to kind of find it. It's, again, it's all about the storytelling, right? They also talk about like a shared resource like this, I think spirit thing or something like that, where essentially you can teamwork and work together a lot. So there's a lot here. And as you can see, it's doing quite good. It's at 26,000, almost 500 backers and still 16 days to go. And the most common pledge we have is, of course, right here. It's about $56. The core physical rulebook is the most common. That's where most people are going. They're not big on a whole lot of add-ons and stuff like that, right? It's just, here's the game, digital plus physical. You get that, or you get the physical one, and you're good to go. And I always think it's a bummer when it's like Canadian or Australian, because the bigger number is more, it looks like it's more expensive, and it sees the dollar sign, and you have to look at the little small one to see that. I wish Kickstarter just converted it for you. I think that'd be a lot nicer than or at least made in the same size or colored them, different or something like that. But oh well. What are you going to do? Next up, we have Creed's Codex, Legends of the Psionics. This is a D&D 5e supplement, and this is cool. The Psionics, very, very cool. I think the only other one I'm going to look at that's cooler than this, and like cool factor, is there's one about the Astral Plane, and like how does like gravity work in that? It sounds really cool. We'll get into that. But this has a whole lot of stuff there where, as you can see, subclass, lore, paths, items, spells, feats, just everything you could possibly want out of this, which is super cool to see. Pretty much every facet of it. It fully integrates them in. And I think that's super cool. So you're going to get, from the ground, even have like new playable races and stuff like that. I don't know how much this ties in with the like psionic version of stuff, but either way, it's very, very, very cool to see. I think it looks awesome. There's a ton here, by the way, a ton. So there's a lot of people getting it. Now it's at 63,000, over 1,000 backers, so congrats on that. Still 24 days to go, so still a long time to go. Definitely has some footwork to have. And as you can see, even the PDF, $20 has almost 500 backers alone. However, the hardcover plus PDF is the most common at 600, and again, that's only $50, which is kind of, I think, box standard. Anything on more than that, you start to feel like it's a bit expensive, a bit premium, right? And it goes to show that how impressive it is to get that much money from that little. Often you'll see a higher price point of raise, but there's more cost to get there because you're busy buying more stuff, right? This is very focused. Next up, we have 7 Deadly Sins Collectible Coins Season 2. Before I go any further, as always, links down in the description below to all of these campaigns and more. There's going to be a ton of links there. Control F is your friend. Hopefully you appreciate that. This is a quick, easy one. They're at 2,000, 43 backers, 44 hours to go. So last minute. So if you just saw this and launch, go and check it out if you're interested. There are different coins in brass and copper, and they look super cool. They're $42 each, or you can get the pair of them for 60. As you can see, they've done a really good job of sculpting that other side there, right? It looks very, very neat. They do all have a similar outside. I know sometimes people like differences there. This is all just kind of that smooth circle. All right, next up, Dolmenwood Tabletop RPG, $1 million. More, 7,665 backers and still 24 days to go. This is a big one. A big one. Not only that, but it's actually in my hometown. I need to find these people and take a look at them. This is Exalted Funeral. They've done a few things before, and it's super cool to see them still doing very, very well. They're definitely, like, they do this stuff well. And really, a lot of this price, right? I mean, obviously, a lot of backers. It looks super cool, right? And if you look at it, it's just this wonderful looking, like, classic, but then also, like modern and stylized, too. It's kind of like this is like classic to me, right? But then you see stuff like this and you're like, oh, this is like super modern. So it's cool to see the different styles. But as you can see, it's just a beautiful work of art. I love collecting RPG books, if nothing else, just to peruse them. I think they make great coffee books, like coffee table books. It just looks great. You got a ton of different stuff. This is like a full up and down system here, and it's really cool to see. 464 pages. That's a lot. That's just the campaign book. So it's one of those things where there's a ton to do here, a ton. But you get to see a little preview of all of them. This slip case is limited edition, and that's what a lot of people are backing. So if you look down here to the like loot one, right? Or even this limited one. You see the difference here, right? Here's the standard, still pretty good, 2,694, 95 bucks for all of that. That's a lot. But then you still have 1,500 just to get that slipcase, that sweet slipcase. And then another 895 at 160, where you get also like a map and some minis and stuff like that. There's a lot. They have the minis here, and they keep adding more goblins to it. The screen, the mat looks great. I think those all look good. You get like a soundtrack and stuff, dice, a t-shirt, pins. I love these extra stuff like that because it's really easy to add. It helps support the cause and get as good of a game as you can get your hands on without increasing scope a huge amount. So super cool to see them succeed that well. And again, there's plenty of time to join in. Next up, we have Fledge Witch, the Magical Apprentices of Elemeria. And this one is different than pretty much all the others. It's a 35,610 backers, still 8 days ago, so over a week to go. It's funded in an hour, doing quite well from Lion Wing Publishing. This one has the GM essentially be a witch, and then all the others are the apprentices, and they just have to like do different things to be able to like be an apprentice, like make a potion or, go gather these items or something like that. So much more chill, right? The vibe here is a lot, like you're not like fighting like the devil, okay? You're not saving the world from an existential Cthulhu crisis or something like that, right? You're just being an apprentice to this witch, and you all stay in character and do stuff like that. It's very kid friendly. It looks awesome. Love all the different art and stuff. They have a few of the bigger ones if you want to get like all their other stuff, but that's honestly not necessary at all. So it's really cool to see that. Here's a why back. It's very good. I suggest you read it. Just kind of getting a sense of all this. But again, it's a very chill experience, this one. And it sounds actually pretty cool. Next up, we have Shadow of the Weird Wizard. 276,000, so very good there. Over 2,000 backers, approaching 3,000. Still 22 days to go. When you see that many backers and then a pledge like that, it's probably not going to get too expensive here. And sure enough, it's not too bad. It goes up to $4.99, but only 19 are backing that. That's just like super extra stuff here. You can see only 6 here. The majority of people are right here at the 99 for the Expert Wizard, where you get 7 different items, right? So you get a ton of stuff there, right? So this one is actually, again, really, really cool in how they're doing that. It's from the designers of 5th edition, or at least some of them, doing something that's similar to the typical D20, but also some like quality of life improvements and stuff like that they wanted to make that obviously D&D Wizard of the Coast probably wasn't too keen on right yet. So that's kind of why it looks like they kind of spun off and did this. And it seems like it's something you could jump in quite easily, fit in quite easily, and if you like the D&D experience, your group will probably like something like this, which is awesome to see. And of course, they have minis as well. Super cool to see. They're unlocking even more stuff, and their stuff they're unlocking is like huge. It's like 32-page supplement, 64-page supplement, all right, a 64-page supplement, a 48-page supplement, another 40, another 64. Like, it just, these are big. Really, really big. There's a lot here. All right, next up we have Ultimate Bestiary, Secrets of the Fae for 5th edition, obviously for D&D 5e. Over 130 new Fae-specific creatures, like going into that kind of forest, right, if that makes sense. And you get all that stuff there. So super targeted, over 1,000 backers, 59,000 raised, still like a month to go. These campaigns go on for like forever. The art is, and I find endearing. It's like a mix between old style and maybe something a little bit more modern. So I think a lot of people will like that from both sides of things. So that's cool to see. I dig that. And really, I mean, that's all there is to it. It's just kind of a straightforward, it's a normal bestiary that you would get, right? The actual stuff you get here, it's $50, or sorry, it's $20 for the various versions, but notice there's a couple. There's actually like 3 of them. And notice that like this is for like the Roll20, right? And then this one is just the like PDF. And then this one's a PDF as well. So they have different things. Right here's the tabletop one. So $40 gets you like the early bird actual copy of that. That ends in like a day. So like right now, again, feel free to check it out. Otherwise, you're getting both for $50. It costs only $10 more to add the PDF, which is always kind of nice. $60 to get all of them PDF. That's a common one. And then, of course, to get everything in hardcover, $120. And you actually get the PDFs as well. So super cool to see all of that. All right, next up we have Tales from the Astral Plane, 5e Rules and Adventure 2.0. This is something that's super cool. It's not for everybody, right? Definitely, your group's got to be ready for something like this. So it adds on to the 5e experience, right? And kind of everything, right? It says here rules, classes, spells, feats, monsters, locations, step encounters. But what it does a lot of is change how D&D already plays. So like when it comes to items and stuff like that. So for instance, let's go ahead and take a look at here. So it has like 45 encyclopedic entries on topics such as spellcasting, which spells work the same and which function differently in the astral plane. Combat, how does the lack of gravity affect every aspect of combat? How does stealth work? Very interesting, right? Physics, how do liquids behave? What about fire? How does the environment differ from outer space? Magic items, do some magic items have different characteristics on the astral plane? Do some items fail to work altogether? So physiology, origin of the planes, and more and more and more. And they keep going on, Dream Quest, stuff like that. So it's definitely taking this astral plane thing to another level. So if you're a fan of that as a theme, that's cool. If you just want to challenge yourself as a player, as a DM, I think this is a great way to do it because of stuff like there's no gravity, right? Sometimes it's hard to like walk through a combat anyway, right? People have silly ideas of how long of reach things have and stuff like that. Or they're not realizing how much it is to run and how tired you get, stuff like that. So then you put yourself in like a 0G environment that's also not like space. Like what is like, that's super cool. And all your items and spells suddenly work differently. Love it. I think that's great. And again, it's something you could add to a normal game, right? You just slot in some astral plane junk in there. Bam, there you go. So I actually am a big fan of that one. That being said, 184 backers, 15 days still to go, 11,000. They've definitely funded and doing well for themselves, but I'd love to see more people be aware of this and maybe interested in it. It sounds really cool to me. All right, next up we have World of Battlezoo, Indigo Isles for Pathfinder 2e and 5e. So a little bit more streamlined. We're going Pathfinder here. 77,000, over 1,000 backers. Still 3 days to go. So again, quite close. Go ahead and check that link down in the description below for yourself here. And this is essentially a vacation resort. Which again sounds so fun. I love these really themed ones like this, right? This is again something that you could insert into a normal campaign. Well, now that we got the big bad guy, let's go vacation, right? Like I love that. I think that's fantastic that they're doing stuff like that. And they have a whole lot of different things you can do, including work on design your own island and stuff like that. But they have different paths they can take and NPCs to populate these islands with and different tasks you do and whatnot. So it's just a cool change of pace and I dig that. Sometimes when you've been underground fighting ghost dwarves for so long, it might be kind of nice to go vacation somewhere, which is awesome. So if you look here, you get the PDF for a solid $29, a little bit more expensive than some of the others. Or you can get like the Foundry edition for $49, stuff like that. The hardcover and digital is $59, so $60 for that is not too bad at all. That's a total of 6 items. You get a ton of different stuff there. And then again, it just goes higher and higher as you get more premiums, all right? So that's kind of how that works. Next up, we have Badge Quest RPG campaign book. This is another very kid-friendly one. There's no like death involved here. So you're not like, oh, my character's dead now. And you start, having a kid cry or something like that. I love the grayed out stretch goal thing. I think that's pretty cool to do. This is at 89,760 backers. So approaching that 1,000. That's getting there. And still 8 days left to go on this one. So this has you essentially be like Girl Scouts with a troop leader. And you go around, you have essentially a whole bunch of dice. So sometimes you'll have like a skill 4 in it. So you roll 4 dice and you're just trying to essentially like get 6s and stuff like that. So that's cool to see. You get these actual physical badges. I love this. Giving your players a physical item when they do something cool, or like, hey, you just gained some luck, here's a free reroll thing, or anything like that to commemorate that, makes that so much more memorable. So incorporating that directly into the game where you actually give these badges, super cool. Like legit badges. You could even pin them on yourself. I imagine a lot of people will put some like double-sided sticky tape or something, so you can start, doing that, or have a little vest you can put it on and pin it on or something. I think it's great. They do have some cool looking minis here. I love seeing that. They actually look quite nicely sculpted. So that's impressive to see. You even have some like basing and stuff like that, which is really cool. It's just a unique little situation that you're in. Like there's not a lot of other stuff in this space acting like this. So I really dig that. And like as it says here, no character death. So it's even fine for younger audiences. So hardcover, $55. That's a good deal. That comes with the digital. Those, they just throw those in half the time. Digital only is 35, so digital only is a little bit higher, but the hardcover and stuff's right in line there. And the core set, 85. You get the screen and stuff like that. You get a whole bunch of dice. The pink dice, by the way. Bubblegum pink dice. I love it. And pretty good. You get 16 of them for $10. Again, they shouldn't be $1 a die. That's always a ripoff, even for special ones. Unless you get some. I saw another YouTuber, Tabletop Minions. He had some die that were like acrylic, and inside of it was like almost like a snow globe kind of thing. It was like this like liquid. So after it was done rolling, it still spun. Super cool. Dig that. So you get fancy. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right, next up, The Secret Art of Game Mastery, perhaps my favorite of this whole group. When it comes to being a game master, even if you successfully get from point A to point B, that doesn't mean you did it the best way. There's definitely a skill to it. It's why a lot of YouTube personalities that do it and do it very well are so popular. It's entertaining even just to watch them, to see how they storytell, to see how they interact with people, see how they react to different things and stuff like that. So this is teaching you all of that, and I think it's great for anybody that wants to be better at it, and because it improves your enjoyment of it too, right? If you're the DM, then your job is to make everybody else have a great time, and that means you're having a great time, and I love that. I think that's awesome. So The Secret to Game Mastery, then they have stuff like preparation, note-taking, they have a few others. It's really, really cool. They get a fancy slipcase, and again, that's super, you know, everybody wants a slipcase, right? Always popular to do. You can get a special leather-bound version of it. I love that. These are like your Bibles, right? This is your tome of knowledge just to do good, right? Right? Like, hey, you're not prepared. How to deal with this, right? Getting ready to create the game, right? So it goes you step by step by step. It even has like your adventure and some areas to take notes in, though obviously you'll run out of room there eventually. But I love that it's encouraging like note taking, like, oh, just note that, you bring it back later, stuff like that as you're thinking about it. They do have a free sample here. I think it's great. I think that's awesome. Again, hardcover, $30. $30, 50 for the hardcover and the GM screen. So that's almost like more pricey, right? And then the leather bound cover is only $75. That's cool. The hardcover collection with all three, plus of course the PDFs, $75. So honestly, I don't think it's too bad. Like the 3 in leather for $160, I think is crazy cool. That is awesome. If you look here, they have a few others. They have like map bundles and stuff. They have stuff like loot and lore and lair and legends and into the face. So they have more here as well. They're just not showing it off super well on their main page, but very, very cool to see them doing so well. And I think it's great. 3,000 people are going to be a better DM because of this. And everybody wins from that. All right. Finally, we have Wildlands Reforged, hand-painted modular terrain by Dwarven Forge. If you have a lot of money, first of all, I'd love to be your friend. No, but seriously, and you want to pimp out your experience on tabletop RPGs as much as you possibly can, Dwarven Forge has your back. They are glorious. What you're seeing here, none of this is renders. These are actual pictures. This is what you're literally buying. Even the floor is textured and designed and painted. It all comes pre-painted. The paint's great. It's very robust. I've rubbed at it and held it and stuff like that. It doesn't rub off or anything like that. It's so well done. It's glossy where it needs to be, and satin where it needs to be, and matte where it needs to be. And you get a ton of different stuff, and it's all modular. I think they have a GIF here I could maybe show you. All of it often supports lights, LEDs, fog, smoke, all this kind of stuff that you can do. I guess like fog and smoke. Like, what are you doing both? What are you doing there? Floating islands. They have so much you can do. This is all essentially a straight repeat or a reprint of many of their stuff they have. Oh man, see, I was hoping they had a cool GIF. As you can see though, it's a ton, right? Here's some floors for $116, right? If you want the forest floors was dense woods, it's $124. You get 2 tiles plus all that. It's expensive, but it's also really, really good. And of course, when you get the bundles, it is a little bit better, right? So if you go up here, like some of the bundles, this one right here, it's all of this. So it's a ton. And of course, you can rearrange it any way you want to. $3,562. It is really, really cool. It is, but it's expensive. So just know that going in. But you won't experience anything else like this. It's fantastic. It makes you look like you have like a YouTuber setup, right? I mean, it's just, it's pretty. It's pretty. And they still have 9 days left on that. So guys, that's all I have. That is a ton of RPG goodness. I hope you enjoyed that. If I missed anything, let me know. Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to see what else is out there. All this stuff looks super cool. If you are interested in seeing more RPG coverage, I will be including those in my regular news videos. Plus, at least every week, I'll have a video out for you guys to cover some of this cool stuff going on in the crowdfunding space, and maybe even eventually just normal like WizKids stuff and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, epic encounter releases, right, all that kind of stuff, there's a ton out there. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, guys.